definitely sounds like a tractor. G'day guys, I'm in an LS400. I don't even know what like a 98 to 2000 LS400 UCF20 VVTi, and this car is Alice's car, and it's been in recently to have a cam out done, and it has come back with a few issues. Guys, now I see this a lot, like twice a month. People actually phone me or contact me or message me from around the world with this problem. I've been in for a cam out, it's not running right. This one's got some other cool things happening as well. Power steering doesn't work properly either and is whining. Oh, there's the engine check light, it's just come on. This one is sounding a bit like a tractor out the back. I probably should put my seatbelt again. Oh, geez, check VSV. So it's bringing up fault codes. It's not running right. Unfortunately, this one doesn't appear to be just as simple as the cam belt timing being wrong. This one has a little bit more. Now, steering's horrid. It's kind of got some movement in the steering, but not a whole lot. Oh. Right. So at this point we've got the vehicle stability has turned off because there's a fault code for it, so that gets turned off, and the engine is in limp mode, or fail-safe as Toyota call it. And in this case, because it's a cam timing problem, I would expect it to actually turn the cam timing off, the variable cam timing. That'll be, I haven't actually looked at the exact fail-safe, but that's a likely symptom. Now this one, not just did it have the cam belt done, it had of course the water pump and all those things, but it also had the O-rings on the front of the VVTi actuators done, and it's had the cam seals done. So those two items or components have also been apart, which then begs the question is whether all of that was put back together correctly as well. There are numerous connectors on the engine which are broken and stuffed, and I'm going to address that as well. I don't have a tacho either. Hey tacho, you're not working. Not working. Okay, so the dash cluster's also got a problem. I just gave it the diagnostic tap. Now, very common for the clusters on these to fail as well. And you saw I just gave it a tap on the top of the dash. That is a perfectly acceptable diagnosis. That is not a perfectly acceptable long-term solution to just tap the top of your dash every time your tacho fails or your rev counter fails. Because what will happen is eventually you will break the dash. The cluster will fail completely, and then you'll really be having some issues. It's far easier to get it serviced at this point before it's totally stuffed. Okay, so yes, if you need to diagnose it, tap tap on top of the dash, it works again. We know it's the dash, we know it's not the speed sensors on the transmission, we know it's not the ECU, we know it's not the multiplex wiring, we know it's the dash cluster. It's really flat down low, and then it lights up the back tires, which is an indication that there is a cam timing, a mechanical type fault, more than an electronic type fault. We're going to get it to the workshop and do some diagnosis, and I'm going to hand it over to Jason because I've got some wiring I need to do. We will be doing a power steer pump replacement as well. I've got one of those in stock. Still pretty flat there. Power of Jason time. Briefing time. We've got to do some brainstorming. Come up with a repair plan. It's smoking. I think it's got an oil leak.
I can smell that from over there.
I'm going to confuse you when I say it's Scooter's car, but it's Alice's car. It's not Scooter's car at all.
Oh, okay, yep, I know this. Yep.
You dropped off the O-rings for the front VVTi actuators?
He picked them up, yeah.
Or he picked them up, yeah. Cam seal's done. So the cams have been out. Cam bout's been done. When it got back, the middle of the head VVTi position sensors, one of them wasn't plugged in. It's going to have fault codes in there. I'll check fault codes. We're going to do these as well. Oh shit. We're going to do these as well. We might even be able to get Shay on to just going through some of the connectors before we get into it, eh? That's what that's all. Okay, has it been tightened up? Oh no, that's all right. That's loose. So that's good. Oh yeah, we might do that too, eh? Yeah, silicon's the way. Is it going to plug back in for the moment? Right, listen to it. Oh yeah, and the throttle's chattering too. So the thing I'm concerned about is the actuators have been apart and whether they've been put back together correctly. The heater tap is very Kiwi, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very Kiwi.
Under the Land Cruiser.
Yeah, look. It's at the blue Land Cruiser had one of those. So, my thoughts. Oh, and oh wait, there's no power steering.
Maybe it has some fluid in it, it might help.
It's got some fluid in there, but it's all aerated, eh? It's not pumping at all. So we've got a pump. We've got a pump for the VVTi, so that's got to be changed. I'm tempted to pull the tapper covers and check the marks inside. Thoughts?
Thoughts? I'm going to go back over here. That's my wire. You might be trying to do it for the last fucking 3 weeks.
I think we'll defer it to Monday.
Monday, do one of those.
I've got them. It's not the same as a 4.3, is it? It's not the same as a 4.3, but I have the 4 litre ones. The 4.3s are coming. No, it doesn't have Calford cams in it. Oh, check the flappy. Check whether that VCT, ACIS moves.
There's a sucky noise over here. Do you want to? Yeah, I'll start it. You look.
How you start it? Oh look.
You've got the camera.
Yep, it's in the up position. It's still in the up position. It hasn't moved. It hasn't moved, Jace.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong as the intake manifold needs to come off as well. So I think, yeah, we'll do it.
I'm going to go back over here and carry on with my own.
And next week we'll hook this to bits, tab covers off, intake manifold off, put some connectors on it, check the cam timing. And at that point we need to make a decision if we do the actuators or not. Actuators, we mark every time, so we always put them back together the same way, right? And it always works and we don't have failures, we don't have issues with it. But, because of course it's got all the different positions in the front, what happens when you put them together wrong?
You get all of
Oh, and we'll put tattered cover gaskets in it. I'll let Alice know.
it. It's probably not working so well.
No, it's not. I don't need a second opinion, but I've just already had a power off, Jay. So we've got, what have we got in here? We've got, and what you don't know, there's someone else standing beside me. Just had a cam belt.
Oh,
Oxygen sensor, so it needs an oxygen sensor.
okay, yeah.
We got
VVT.
range on bank 1,
Oh, yeah.
malfunction on bank 1,
That's some VVTi.
range on bank 2, and an overall and a system malfunction on bank 2, so it's both of them, and OCV circuit malfunction on bank 1. That's possibly because I've just unplugged some sensors as well.
Sounds like cam timing's a bit off.
The
Actually.
Scooter's actually checked the cam timing on the belt, and he tells me it's correct. He sent me photos, and the photos that he sent me had it correct. However, we might just double check that as well.
Is the VVT on the seals?
The actuator's been off and the cams have been out.
Oh, okay, so it could even be a scissor gear issue or...
Could be scissor gear issues.
Or on that VVT gear.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm just going to erase the codes and see what comes back. Okay, so I've erased the codes, and we've got a VVTi system malfunction bank 1 and a VVTi system malfunction bank 2. So those are the codes I actually want to address. Still learning PDM software?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mainly got power 1 powered up.
Oh,
I
good.
got the issue to power up,
Oh, good.
but I don't think it's the correct way of doing it.
Right, so I will work it out, eh? I was having a play with software the other day, it's okay. So Jason is working on the Alice's car, and he just unplugged the coil. What's with the glue? Oh, gravity's working. We need to work out how to get brake clean dissolves that stuff, doesn't it? Or does that not? Brake clean doesn't dissolve that. Do we have to go with petrol?
What was that?
That was plastic.
No, there's something else at the ground too.
Oh, don't know.
Oh, it's that.
So Jason's been checking some cam timing. So he's got down there and he's put it on the TDC mark. And he's got it lined up here on the lines. Let's get in there nice and close, shall we? Here's my finger. Here we go. So this line. And it lines up. It's a bit funny in the camera unless I get it straight on, but that is lined up. We're going to go down by the crank. Jason's got a thing on here. Oh. So there's the crank lined up with the T mark.
Oh, got it out.
And this one is the dot here is lined up with the line. So that is correct. 100% we're good. Have you, by any chance, did you put a screw? No, you haven't taken that coil out, and you're probably, this one's not very good, Jace.
I got number.
You've got
the back one out.
7. How about I give you a hand, eh? And we've got to fix this too. I'll give you a hand. I'll go get some connectors in. Now the other question I have for you, with regard to the VVT.
I don't know what he's done. Who's done this? Right, I have one.
It was Rob. The actuators have been apart.
Oh, fuck, he's still shooting there.
We're going to be a while on this, eh? I'll go get some connectors, eh? And I'll give you a hand. Genuine from the people that sell them to Toyota. I got, I think I got another 5 or 6 boxes of these. Which, and these are the same. There we go.
Oh, the bottom off this.
There's probably 4. Here's another cam angle plug for you. Yeah, that's good, eh?
I'm going to make my plugs.
Silicon has been used extensively. connectors. I didn't have enough ejector plugs here. Jason's done his. I've got my tablet cover ready to come off too. I haven't got your tablet cover ready to come off yet. And the power steering pump is almost ready to come off too. I haven't got the back bolts on it, so it's probably not even almost, it's just I've started. Righto, Jason's gone home and I'll show you where we're up to, eh? We'll show you what we've done. It's in pieces. So we've done lots of connectors, all the connectors we had here. I've got more connectors to pick up from my own place. I do a lot of wiring at my own house. Intake manifold's off to do the ACIS solenoid. Tablet covers are off. And of course we take, you know, both tablet covers off. I took the cam sensor out. Cam sensor is ugly. Now, I did have the cam timing lined up. Check the cam timing is correct, and it was. I've checked the scissor gears. Both sides, they are correct. Okay, so that stuff all works as it should. So today's a Thursday. Jace works 4 days a week. So for Jason it's Friday. And he has to drop off some parts to other people and pick up stuff and do some stuff tomorrow. And so I said, bugger off, leave me alone. I need some time to think. And it took me about 25 minutes after he's left that I found the solution. I have this engine, put the tablet cover off, and watch what I did. I actually did it on the other car first, but watch this. So this is the movement of the VVTi. So that's the allowable movement of the cam. Let's see if we can do it. You've got the spanner there. Okay, so it moves through its range like this. Okay, and it has zero effect on the scissor gears, so the scissor gears are still lined up, and it rotates within the actuator. Going to this one, no movement. Probably should check both sides, eh? The actuators are locked solid. They do not move. And there is our problem. This is not the normal problem. Normally people just stuff up the cam timing. So just my luck, I get one in and I think, yeah, I can do a video and show people what it is, and it'll be the cam timing, but it's not the cam timing. But it's a new problem that I haven't seen before. Now, this is one of the situations where my knowledge is a little lacking, okay? I've had these actuators apart a lot, and I've seen other people taking them apart and stuffing it up, and I don't know what they're doing wrong. And the reason I don't know what they're doing wrong is we always do it correctly. We haven't stuffed up on these actuators yet. We get a grinder and we go zip with the grinder and we mark them. And when we take them apart, we just flick them apart, put the O-ring in, put them back together the way we took them apart. And by doing that, it always works. We always put them in the same place. We don't have issues. So I'm about to learn what is possible to stuff up in these actuators because someone else has stuffed up for us. So I'm going to be forced to learn, or I've got some spare ones anyway. They just happen to have the ones that are, well, they're off that engine. Oh, wait. I can use the ones off that engine. I can't use the ones off the 3UZ because there's different colours. There's different actuators, guys. So the actuators, I believe, are matched to the cylinder heads. And the thrust areas on the cylinder heads between some of the 3UZ and 1UZ VVTi heads are different. The cams all interchange, but the actuators don't. So you've got to be really careful with that. You have to order the correct colour on the actuator. Again, we're all going to learn about this together. Right, I'm glad we found the problem. I've had enough of today. I'm going to call it quits, but really good news. I've sent Alice and Scott a little video of what we found. They'll be happy that we found something, and we're going to continue very soon. Had some time to think. I'm going to get in. I don't know what's been done. So what we're going to do, I'm going to rotate it a little bit so the belt lines up with the T marks. I would normally zip tie these on, but in this case I'm not, because you can't really get in there nicely. So I'm going to whip the belt out, the tensioner out, belt off. I'm going to mark it up nicely, and I'm going to pop these camshafts out. I'm going to start with one side. I'm not going to do both sides. I'll just do one at a time. So let's get in and let me get these off, these bits apart. Camshafts come out pretty easy. I might do the other side first, actually. It's easier to get at. How's that for cheating? I might start with this side and just lift out that inlet cam nicely. Lift this off, and we're going to get that apart on the bench. Right, change of plan. I'm going to lift the fronts off in place. So I've removed the cover off the front. In doing so, I found that washer is stuffed. I don't have more of those, which is a pain. So I'll see what I've got, see what I can do to get something done there. But that one, it had jammed up, it had grabbed on the nut. I've then undone the bolt in the centre here. And I've undone all of these. And I'm just going to very carefully slip it apart. Now I've also marked it. So up here, right here, yes, I've got a grinder. And I gave it a whack with the grinder there. And this one's over here. This one has flicked around a little bit. But I want to have it in the right spot. Also found the inside of these pulleys is absolutely disgusting. They haven't been cleaned. Alright, these are a T27. I had already cracked them, so don't be alarmed that they are loose. Now these units are full of oil, guys, so I've got a rag under here to try and capture as much of the oil. I'm failing. Putting another rag under to capture as much of the oil as possible. Big sprint. This now turns. Right, I'm going to just turn off and have a bit of a look and a bit of a gander and try and work out what's being done in here. It's not making sense. Okay, I'm somewhere where Toyota never expected us to be, and if you look right here, see it right there in the light? It was buried in the actuator. The actuator wasn't sliding. So you've got two opposed helical slots or gears here, and this unit moves. There's where the seal will sit and move. So here's a unit here. You can actually look inside here, and I can turn it. Can I turn it? Oh yeah, I can turn it. I can turn it. Okay, so in this case the cam is still and the actuator is moving. So in place, of course, the cam moves and the actuator stays still. Now, just a mental note, guys, these are a non-serviceable unit. I worked on the theory that it was stuffed anyway, and I can't break it. I solved the GoPro problem that doesn't work so well, this one. I bought a new one. What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
You're pulling it apart. So Jace's...
Like, this is the Chronicles of Cartoon. Let's pull one of these heads apart.
I know. The worst thing about this one is someone else has been here before us. So Jace is doing the pulling apart and sorting some stuff. Like, because look. Yeah, I don't think we need to say what we're doing there. He's done the crossover gaskets on the water bridges because they were disgusting. And I'm still playing this game. You can see the silicon here. So that's where it came from. There was silicon around the front. Yeah, Jace, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, look, there it is.
Yeah, so, and I'm trying to get a couple of these front pieces, which we might just about be able to make work for us. Fingers crossed. So the stock car guys over here in New Zealand don't use the VVTi. They're not allowed to use it in their race class. And some of them actually take the front of the actuator off, the bit that I've got apart. And yes, I've pulled it apart. It's not meant to be pulled apart. But I pulled it apart because it was stuffed and I couldn't break it. It was already stuffed. Oh. And there's different colours, of course, that I've mentioned. And trying to put it back together is a challenge. Should I bring it over for your fat fingers?
Oh, mate, we'll end up with a hammer.
Well, I hammered it apart. That's how I actually got it apart. I physically hammered it apart. That's how stiff it was. It wouldn't just slide.
Probably not very good then.
No. And that kind of suggests why I might not be able to get it back together.
The vice grip marks on there probably won't help. Is there vice grip marks on the one?
Yeah, there's vice grip marks on my one as well, like big poly grips. Yeah. Well, I'll show. I've got to bring it over and show you the way they work. And yeah, they're very tight. There's also the question of whether I can get them lined up in the right place again. There's a challenge for me. Right, you do that. I'm going to go play. I'm going to play with your razor.
I'm coming over there to play with it.
Well, I might need you to tell me how to start off and work out the process. Because you don't want to do this, do you?
No.
No, Alice will understand that we don't actually want to fix this problem.
Like, they could have cleaned it.
Don't worry, you don't have to take the bolt off the bottom cover. The bottom bolt on the bottom cover there isn't one in it. It's missing.
They could have cleaned it.
No, that's what your job is, cleaning it. This isn't meant to be pulled apart, of course. So we've got a washer on the bottom. So we've got that shim washer there, and it's got the correct way it's got to go round. And then we've got this outer ring. And you'll notice on the outer ring, see these bits, these flop around, they move.
Look at that, yeah.
Yep. And that, we've got a dot here, which corresponds to the dot on the oil mark there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's okay. And then fortunately, when I was taking it apart, watch this. So I had it taped up to try and put it together. Here's more. And we have this piece. Unfortunately, I marked that. You can see how, because of the slots that move, that move, but that's the right spot right there. So I can get this into that, and I can get this outer into here, but I can't get the whole unit back together.
Well, I just stuffed it up.
It doesn't matter. And you'll see here, if you look at this one, see there's a hole in it. So as it rotates, the hole has to go past the slot. So it actually it goes past the slot, and you can actually see that when they're all together. You were never good at jigsaws anyway. Hey. I called a favour. Red.
Yeah.
That's all still together. Greeny coloured one. I think there's a yellow one in sent us as well. And a yellow. So ours is the greeny one. Again, O-ring's hard as, but it's from the stock cars. When they remove the VVTi, that's a nice clean one, eh? That's a real sweetheart. Oh, that's a green one. And we have to use this one was the red one. Because we've got green and red on Alice's, eh?
Yeah.
The other one's got green and green. So there we go. So hopefully, it's not the right way to do it, but hopefully we can put this on, put those on the front of Alice's, and they will rotate and work.
Hopefully.
So how about I just hand you that job? You can pull the cams out and put it together.
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Yeah, that's fine. Finish what you need to do. There we go.
I'm kind of determined to get this back in now.
You can't even get one piece in.
I had it in. I just got it in the wrong place. I just stood in. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, it's in the wrong place.
There's a hole for the oiling.
Yeah, so the oil's something to do with the VVTi actuation.
Right.
So these are VVTi actuators, right?
Yeah.
So we've got another customer turned up. Usually got a 3Z on yours, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, so same setup.
Yeah.
And what had happened on that particular vehicle was someone, when they did the front O-ring, these O-rings, they'd put silicon around here. And so when I pulled this apart, which you're not meant to pull apart, I found silicon jamming it up, and it wouldn't move. They were locked solid. The other one's still locked solid. So Stock car builders take them off to lock up the VVTi because they have to,
Yeah,
class,
that's right.
class rules. So I pulled a favour basically to get these, and I might be good, but I'm giving up on how to get it all together properly. I've worked out how it's meant to go. I've worked out how it physically works. I'm not sure if it's related to the fact that it's had a big pair of poly grips on it to hold it.
Nasty.
So I don't know whether that's why I can't get it together or there's another trick. You're in the wrong place still, Jace.
I used your marks.
That's the other marks. So that's the mark for the back. So you've got a mark for the back hole where it goes into this, because when it slides together you can't see it. So I've marked them up in here. So this one is the scratched line there.
Yeah, I know. I read that.
And then you have to put it in so it sits in tight in there. And you see this thing moves. See that you can see the gears move?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, eh? Simple fact, don't pull them apart. Don't put silicone in them. We don't have to pull them apart and it's all good.
And silicone.